Welcome to the Dukes United show, where you're going to get everything Man United tonight, but most importantly, the Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United. It's time to turn Manchester red again. Is it not, boys? Oh, God. Where's the enthusiasm?
Definitely is.
Have you seen Haaland, bruv? Have you seen what that geezer can do,
I'm
mate?
not going to read anything into you wearing a blue shirt tonight, Garth, at all.
What are you talking about? I don't know
There
that,
he goes.
mate.
There he
Classic.
goes. Loud and proud.
Yeah,
Loud and proud. Very good. Very good. We've got plenty to discuss. Obviously, we've got the Manchester derby tonight. We've got Harry Maguire. He's talking again, but is he saying the right things? And, of course, we're here to discuss Joel Glazer. Joel Glazer could be the man that's potentially stopping Manchester United from being sold after the other four are willing to sell, or not willing to sell, and not as tied into the project as much as he is. But what is he holding on for? We're going to be discussing that. Make sure you get into the comment section. Make sure you press that like. Make sure you press that subscribe if you are new to the show. And if you are a regular, I want to start seeing that shared button pressed. Press that share button, press that copy, get the algorithm, send us to the front page. You know what to do. All right, first and foremost, we're going to be talking about Joel Glazer. Potentially, Joel Glazer is standing in the way of Manchester United selling the club, with four of the other brothers willing to sell, four of the other siblings willing to sell. Joel's position on the sale is thought to be crucial, with siblings Brian, Kevin, Ed, and Darcy said to be less wedded to maintaining control. Avram has input at that level too, but Joel is viewed as the pivotal voice. Nathan, for anyone that didn't see it the other day, I know that he was speaking about it the other day. What's your thoughts on the situation? Does it feel like it's edging closer every time there seems to be a bit of news? Do you feel like it's just hearsay and general waffle, or do you think there could be something that comes of it?
I think there definitely can be something that comes of it. It's just a thing of being patient now and letting things play out as they should do. We had a good chat. Dale gave us, his thoughts on what was going on and stuff. And there's some interest from different parties, different consortiums, some USA, people over in USA. And we had the thought maybe Saudi interest. You never know, but you can't be sure until you see it in black and white. They have to show proof of funds, to be able to come with a massive, to especially meet the valuation that they're talking about as well. What was it? 4.2 billion. I think he mentioned 4.2 billion, if I remember rightly. So yeah, there's a lot to go before anything happens in this area of United, the United saga, should I say. So for me, I'm not holding my breath expecting something to happen very soon, but I know somebody will be interested in a club like United, the biggest club in the world, able to generate their own funds and stuff. But we need someone to be able to come in, put in their funds and push us to the next level, get us at the training ground that works. That's way better than everyone else. Be back front runners again in the training field, stadium, everything. We need that. That's what we deserve. We've done it on the pitch and we've done it the right way. We weren't a team that were nobody and then just got a massive, injection of money. We were the team that got built from the ground upwards, won leagues, won everything, got the youth team, came through, won things, then had the money to be able to do it. So we can say we did it the right way. And we need someone to now help us get back to that way, if you get what I mean. So yeah, excited, but patient.
All right. Garth, do you genuinely feel that there could be something in the not too, maybe not even distant future, but do you feel like this could be the start of the end of the sorry, mine's gone blank, of the sale of Man United? The Glazers, sorry.
Yeah, I see. I know we're going. Yeah, is it the end of the Glazers? Yeah, this is the first time I've ever actually thought it might be true, to be quite honest with you. But look, I'd like to say to everyone about this is whoever takes over Man United, we're hoping for a Roman or a Saudi, because if it's just another consortium of American businessmen or British businessmen, 4.2 billion, it's not like they haven't got the funds to splash around. It will still be treated as a business. It may not be as bad as the Glazers, But that's been my only worry, is that we're just, you know what I mean, we're getting rid of one dictator for another in when we get rid of the Glazers. But yeah, for the first time ever, it actually does feel close to possible. Like, it's the first thing I've ever read that maybe they'll sell. But obviously with the news that Joel Glazer, what you can come with in a minute, is standing in the way of it. It feels like he's been standing in the way of a lot this summer. It sounds like because it sounds like it was him that was getting in the way of the Cristiano Ronaldo transfer as well. He didn't want to let him go. So yeah, it sounds like he might be getting a little bit too big for his boots around Old Trafford. And this is what you never want, is the money men running football decisions. So
how much do you realistically think it would take for the Glazers to sell up? Do you think that the Sir Jim Ratcliffe is anywhere near that, or do you feel like he needs to get a group of people together? What's the noises coming around from that?
Well, to be fair, he's saying he needs to get a group, isn't he? So I don't see anything happening with that one. To be fair, I don't really pay attention. When you hear you need this, you need that, it's like, you know what? Let's wait for Saudi guy to come with all his money and treat it like a little hobby where he just wants to spend all his, let me spend a few billion on this club. Let me get them to where they want to be. Come on, Tenag, what do you want? That kind of stuff. That's what we need. And until I see something like that, I think that's the only way we're really going to compete with these other big dogs coming in. So we got to have people with real deep pockets and don't care how much is getting dropped from there. So yeah, that's what I want to see.
All right, and Garth, does it worry you that there may be a consorting of people? Or do you want to see a solid owner like you've seen with Chelsea and Abramovich and Broly, or is it a wider thing you'd like to see?
Like just saying, I really don't. I don't care if it's the consortium or the single-led group of billionaires, as long as they're actually going to put, like Nathan said, put their hands in their own pockets, spend on the club. Personally, yeah, obviously, we'd much all rather shake whatever come over and drop a cool couple of bill on us, new stadium, new training ground, another bill for the players. You know what I mean? That would be the dream scenario, like it is for all clubs now. So, but a consortium like the Jim. The thing I always find with the British-led consortium, the same with the Michael Knighton, the Jim Ratcliffe, is how much money do they actually have? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's always like the Michael Knighton one. Both times he's tried to do it, it's always been like, "Oh, I'm 20 mil shy. I just need one more person to come in." Like, I don't know.
The thing is, if you're 20 mil shy, that's a bit of a worry. Down the line, how much money have you actually got to invest in this? Like, you've bought the club. But what are you going to do from there? Like, how shy are you? That exactly. For me would be a worry. That's an alarm bell.
Exactly. So that's what I don't want. Is what we don't need is everyone coming together and all putting 20p in together to raise enough funds to buy Man United in the end. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've just talked myself into saying, yeah, actually, obviously, you'd rather the single-led billionaire come in. just
basically
drop.
What you're saying is leading up to my next question. Like, there's been a lot of uproar and a lot of kickback when it comes to Saudi money and Qatari oil money. Would you care if it came to one of those by Man United?
Mate, no, same mate. No, you go first.
Start with you, Garth, and then we'll go to Nate.
Listen, it's something that it's something you can beat other teams with a stick with when it ain't you. But if someone comes in and they're like, "Yeah, I'm worth a 460 bill," like, yeah, as harsh as it is, you don't care. Newcastle fans don't care. Chelsea fans didn't care when it was Roman. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing you got to put up with is you might have a Roman Abramovich situation down the line where, like, one of these countries goes one step too. Obviously, what they do is disgusting, but this is sport now, isn't it? You know what I mean? Just got to look at the cricket. Let's say, like, I remember, like, the World Cup or something was out in Oman recently. Like, they've got like 6 people in the stands for, like, and I know cricket ain't, but still, that's how it's going with these Middle Eastern countries. They're just sports washing everything, ain't they? So.
And Nathan, I know we all heard you both saying it at the same time, like singing lead vocals in the chorus. But do you care if it's oil money or Saudi money?
Who cares? Money's money. So at the end of the day, once it comes in, innit? If they can buy with any money, whatever they've got that they're willing to accept, I don't care whether it's potatoes, or paper clips. I'm not bothered. As long as they can sell it and they can buy players with whatever it is, I'm happy. So at the end of the day, let's get the job done. Let's get them out of there and get someone in that really wants to do something instead of taking out of this place. Simple.
All right.
Yeah, let's face it. Anyone at this level of business that can buy a £4.2 billion corporation, they ain't clean. You know, no one's clean at that end of the game, is there? You know what I mean? You've all got to get your hands dirty when you get.
Oh, here he goes. Choose the chain. Look. All I'm saying is they're all corrupt.
I thought oil was clean, mate.
I thought I was clean. Rubbing oil up and down myself every day. Yeah, I know what you're about. Yeah, we're all in the same boat. Look, I totally agree. Look, when it's not your money, it's all like, nah, the moral high ground comes up. No, never be like that. I'd rather not support. I'd rather go and support my local team. Get that money, and it's like, whee! Like Scrooge McDuck. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, no, I get it. I fully get it. And look, Man United have been in a situation with the Glazers that, look, to be honest, that most of the fans didn't want in the first place. So it's about time they did move on. It is about time they did move on. Some would say for this next person, Harry Maguire. First of all, I want to start off with this one. Harry Maguire is still Man United's best defender with near identical record to Virgil van Dijk.
Oh, God.
And it is everywhere. Nathan. The stats don't lie. What's your thoughts on this? Although, yeah. This happened about 2 years ago with a certain man called Squadron Mustafi. And they compared him to Virgil van Dijk, and the stats were near identical. What do stats tell you now, Nathan? What does stats tell you?
What's that? Same waist size, same height, maybe.
I'd probably go off head size, to be honest. But what stats in general, what does that tell you about stats?
It tells you can't look at stats on their own because it doesn't make no sense, does it? Everyone can look at stats and go, yeah, this happened and that happened. So it's not really about that right now. It's more about what he said in the press. It's good what he said. Coming out. I've got to work hard and get myself back in the side. I'm fit. I'm ready. I don't look at what other people are saying. All that stuff. That's fine. But end of the day, I think it's a step too far for him. It's nosebleed territory, and he won't be able to handle this. When he first came, we were a team in transition, and we were a team that didn't have really too much of a squad together. And the way we played was pretty much counter-attack football. And against the big boys, we were never going to be able to take it to them and push up and really put them under pressure. So, really, one thing I do want to say is, when you do sit in training, in football training, what we used to do is we used to do attack versus defense. And the defense always defended and never letting goals. Why? Because they always sat on the edge of the box and we had to try and break them down. And it's pretty impossible to break a team down that's sitting on the edge of their box. So one thing Maguire is very good at is obviously being in a back four that's that deep and can sit there tight and deep. He's a big lad. He's going to win headers. He's going to win things on the floor that's right in front of him. But when you start coming out and start being a team, so this is the difference. The teams in and around that mid-table, just above halfway and there, that's where he should be, where you're a counter-attacking team. But the minute we went from counter-attacking team, top 7, 8, 9 kind of thing, that kind of position, to now pushing to go for the top lot, that's where it all changes. And that's where he's no longer needed, I don't believe. He did okay first year or two, and now it's too much for him. Nosebleed territory, needs to move on, really. There's no amount of confidence is going to get him to the level where he needs to be now. It's a case of ability, and he just doesn't have enough to go to where we want to go now. So I'm afraid it's not enough.
All right. Before we move on to more Harry Maguire news, after he gave a rousing interview after England's 1-0 loss to Italy, Garth, what's your thoughts on the stats thing?
Yeah, all right. What stats, mate? I'd like to see them. Yeah, listen. I think they've proved quite eloquently in our chat about Martial the other day that stats are only half the image, and often less than half the image of a complete player. You can read them several different ways. I.e., exactly now, someone trying to tell me that Harry Maguire's anywhere near as good as even this season with everyone having a go at Virgil van Dijk, he's still one of the best defenders in the league. So no, I'm not having it. So yeah, it just proves that stats are great taken in context with the whole surrounding story. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sure maybe Harry Maguire's got as many blocks as Virgil van Dijk, but that's because our defence has been under a horrific pressure. So no, nonsense. There's no way. Listen, I'm not going to start digging at Harry Maguire again. I have my say on what he said last week, but it's nonsense for anyone to even compare the two players. Like, it really, like, you're talking about one of the best in the last 5 or 6 years compared to Harry Maguire, who's done nothing. So yeah,
and let's be honest, as a player, you'd be a bit embarrassed by that.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
You know, you've not been top. Like, if you was top of your game, if you was playing like how when Man United bought him and they were doing comparisons there, you'd be like, all right, cool. Right, it's nice to be compared against him, but when you know you've had a poor season and then they're doing that comparison, it's a bit embarrassing. So I completely agree. But Harry Maguire gave a fighting interview after a tough test against Italy. He said, "I'm working hard on the training pitch to make sure I'm ready for when my opportunity comes. That's all I want. That's all what I can do to help the team. I'm not concentrating on anybody else and what people are saying. I think if people can make a story about me, I'm Man United captain, it's going to make big news. So that's the reason they do it. They like clicks and things like that. But I went to the Euros after an 8-week injury and did not play one game and got into the team of the tournament. In terms of ruthlessness and things like that, I'm sure that that won't happen." So it seems like he feels that he's not going to automatically go straight into the team. But and I noticed the quotes that he said there about I'm not concentrating on what anyone else says. People are essentially using my name for clicks. I mean, it's dangerous ground for the journalist who's out there putting out this news and claiming that sources are saying that Harry Maguire has maybe lent on someone's said something in someone's ear. So someone's lying.
You can't make that up. Man. It's not making it up.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to just openly make up something and say, a source has told me that Harry Maguire ain't happy about this situation. You're like, you're risking your job. You're risking your job, surely.
And I'm sure we kind of trust, I think it's Mark Ogden, wasn't it? I'm sure we kind of trust in him to be saying that he's got some information from some source that he knows is definitely from Maguire. So he's not going to come out with that and say, yeah. And so he's now saying, oh, who's doing this? Why don't you just say, Mark Ogden, what you doing? I ain't said nothing to nobody. But he didn't.
Yeah.
So,
that's a fair shout.
He's clutching at straws. He's trying to look for validity in his in him still being around and playing. But the reality is there is no validity in what's going on right now. The reality is he's just one of those players who coaches and managers are hell-bent on keeping the player in. I've seen it before. I've had it in my career. I've seen it a million times at every different club. You're just that favourite. You're the manager's favourite. And I don't know why sometimes you're playing well and you deserve to be in. But at the moment, when you're playing so bad for so long, makes no sense, does it? It's not right. You shouldn't be able to do this. So, it's just a case. I think I've told you before. I had Michael Chopra with me at Ipswich. Very, very good player. Unbelievable finisher. Great striker. No, not putting nothing past him with that. But he came back pre-season, totally unfit, not ready to train. Not ready to train with the team because he was that far off. But he said, I've come back now to get fit. When I came back fully sharp, ready, strong as possible, and then he was off the boil, and then he kept giving game after game after game, and they just kept helping him. He was doing extra training, and they just continued giving him games. And then I couldn't get 2 games on the trot. And I went to ask the manager, listen, why can't I get a run of games? Like, how comes Chopper is getting all these games? And, you know, and obviously you can see he's not been applying himself correctly. What's going on here? And you used to be I used to be your guy. Like, what's going on? He's like, I haven't got the time. You know, my job's on the line. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly why you need to play me. You can't give me time. I feel like I'm in I feel like I'm in a vicious circle because I'm playing well. I'm killing it in training and in the reserve games. You put me in for 1 game, and the intensity is massive difference. So I can only make about 60 minutes. Yeah. And then I need to come off and then come on the next game and make it 80, 90. But I play well. And then you sit me down again for another month. And then I only come on once again in another month. I'm like, how am I going to get any run of games? You know what I'm like. I need a run of games. I'll score you 20 plus goals a season. What's going on? Yeah. I can't afford it, mate. I can't afford it. I'm like, okay, what can I do? It's just the manager's favourite. That's what happens. So, yeah, Maguire's one of them guys. And it's weird that he's delusional, though. You know, when you're not playing well, you got to know that you're not playing well. You've got to say to yourself, I'm not playing well. I'm letting all these players do me over. Like, I need to fix up. Guys, I'm not playing well. I've got to be better. I know I'm playing. I've got to work myself out of this. He doesn't even say that. What he says is, they're picking me for a reason. I must be doing something right. I'm like, what's going on in your mind for you to think that you're playing well? You're not playing well. Like,
yeah, this is the thing. I missed a paragraph. He says, I'm all good. He was asked, I'm all good, ready to play, feel fit and fresh, on my form. I don't know what's been said. I really don't read about it. I came off the back of 3 positive games for England in the summer and a good pre-season. I felt really good. Obviously, the manager, Eric Ten Hag, decided to leave me out for a game, and the team has been winning since. Like,
so you don't remember the first 2 games of the season, Maguire? You forgot. Like, you played. You started. You was the main man because they said, the chairman must have said, you need to play. He needs to play. Give him his chance. Let him play. And then if he doesn't do well, take him out. Straight away, first game doesn't do well. You got to keep him in 1 more game. Just give him 1 more game. All right, that's it. It's 4-0 Brentford. No. We don't allow that to happen at our club. I'm getting him out. See you later. Clean sheets later.
but Garth, to be fair to him, he has said it's a manager's decision. He's willing to sit and wait. He hasn't. Well, take away the press releases that are not him. Yeah, has he done anything wrong?
I mean, yeah. If you want to give him the widest range of benefit of the doubt there and say that it wasn't him that leaked that nonsense,
because there are certain players that won't say anything, but their body language stinks, and it's enough to get onto other people and send a bad sort of tone throughout the team. Is he doing that?
I mean, I don't know, to be fair, because winning changes everything, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So usually then people, if the team's winning, you forget about them, even if it is the captain. So when we lose, that's a different matter entirely. Yeah, you know what I mean? That sort of attitude can seep through everyone. Listen, my key gripe, as Nathan already touched on it, is he can give me all the nonsense he wants that he doesn't read about what's being said about him. That's absolute tosh, and we all know it is. And he should have been out. He's the captain of Man United. He should have been out 20 minutes after that story broke, saying, I didn't say this. This has got nothing to do with me. My name's not on this. And he hasn't. He's come out with the standard flip-flop, wish-washy statement of, I don't read it, so I don't know what everyone's saying.
I've not heard about it. I don't read it. Like, this is one of the biggest stories that was out for a good few days. That story was rolling around. It's such a melt way. It's such a melty way to get around it. I understand that's the easy way out. You know what I mean?
But for me, it just solidifies that he is the one, or someone close to him that he's given this to is the one that's leaked it. You know what I mean? But when you say stuff like that, because he should have been out slamming Mark Ogden, you don't want that. But no, listen, has he done anything wrong? Yeah. Yeah, he says like he says silly things, man, in the press. He makes himself look a fool when he's scoring that goal, cupping his ears, like Nathan was saying, the delusion.
This is the guy who said, sorry, this is the guy who said he didn't hear it, he hasn't seen it, yet he was cupping his ears a few games ago when he scored.
Yeah, listen, he has not endeared himself to the fans. His performances are absolutely below the least that we expect. You know what I mean? Like it's awful. So no, yeah, he's done enough wrong. And I don't agree with the constant abuse, but it's fair to start. Look, it's fair to pick him apart when he does stuff like this, when the leaks are coming out, when he comes out with statements like this in the press, when he has performances like he did against Germany, and he's still getting picked. Like, it's a joke.
It's justified, isn't it? When you keep
yeah.
When he does a bad game, you talk about it. When he does a good game, you talk about it. It's exactly what it is with every player.
Yeah, I think what people seem to get mixed up in is when there's genuine criticism and constructive criticism of how he's played and breaking as part of his performance, and abuse. There's a massive difference, and you can be critical of a player if he's not been playing well. Like you're not blinded, you're not blinkered. So I think
it's the one thing that I don't like is when I'm listening to Talk Sport and stuff like that. You have them going, lay off Maguire, lay off him. I'm like, why are you laying? How can you lay off someone who gave the ball away under no pressure, and then he fouls you, takes you down in penalty, and you're sitting there going, what are you doing? Like, you was doing all right until then. What's going on? And then the ball comes out from an attacking corner, and then he picks it up and tries to run right into all of them, and then they go off and go and score. It's like, how can you not say anything about that? Like, you can't just go, oh yeah, it's Maguire, no worries, cool. All right, so we went 2 goals down, but let's not talk about the elephant in the room. Like, you have to. It's him. It was his fault. He needs to just obviously own up. Obviously, people do make mistakes. So, okay, you can make the mistake, but it's a bit too many mistakes, isn't it? If anybody else plays like that, in one game, they're not playing the next game. Not a year or 18 months nearly now. It's ridiculous. You can go online, yeah? I'm telling you now, I've been on YouTube and I've clicked Maguire, and then you see some mad reel for like 20 minutes of all mad, like getting ripped up to shreds.
In the 2 games he played this season.
But you can't do that for any other defender. You can't find that many bloopers because they haven't got it.
Yeah.
There's a reason why it's got there. It's there. And I don't want to even post it. I was thinking, should I post it in my group? But I thought, nah, that's killing him. Even though he's not going to see it, I don't even want to post that. I'll watch it and have a little chuckle up because it is kind of funny. But it's not funny when we're playing and we're losing. It's not funny. You know what I mean? So it is funny to see the way he defends at times because it's like it's comical,
farcical. So, I think that's how bad he's got, man. That's how bad he's got. It's got into the stage now where we're feeling pity for him when people start criticising him, and that's where this is coming from. Like we're talking sport and stuff.
Yeah,
like, fair criticism is fair criticism, but now because he's been so bad for so long and everyone's been digging him out for so long, we're now in the stage where it's like, oh, just leave him alone. He's harmless. He's like, he ain't harmless. He's absolutely destroying my team.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's the English press as well. They're mindful of this guy's going to be taking England into the World Cup. They don't want to batter him to pieces before he've even kicked a ball. And they can.
How do you come back from that? Because he has to play flawless games from now to the end of the season, like to actually come back from this.
Yeah, he's not going to play for Man United. That's the maddest thing, though.
Yeah.
What?
He won't play for Man United, and he's going to go straight into a World Cup. Yeah. Which again, now it's okay. I can't have a go at Harry Maguire now. I'm having a go at Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
So, but that's a different subject for a different.
Do you know what I just realised? I just realised what it is with him as well. Is he doesn't know how to low key brag about himself. So, like for instance, that bit we're talking about the European Championship. Like, oh, I didn't play for 8 weeks, and I walked straight into the team, got play of the tournament. Like that is. That is something you should be able to say about yourself. But it's when he does it, he always does it at the wrong moments, at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Don't be bigging yourself up right now, mate. You've just made 2 horrific mistakes. Like, and now you're trying to be like, yeah, mate, and you did. Fair play to you, mate. But like. Yeah, he is. He brags at the wrong points. There is one of the things that's wrong with him. Yeah, he bigs himself up at the wrong times, mate.
You know what he should have said, Garth? He should have said, like, listen, waited until he's back on top of his game, if he can get there, whatever team he is, and then say that. And then it sounds good. And you know what?
Yeah.
I had belief in myself because I did this. I didn't even play.
Exactly. There you go.
And look, I'm back now. You know, I knew I had some strength in me to actually get back to this level.
You've done this before, haven't you? Bloody hell. It's like an Oscar speech.
You see, how different is that, though, Dave? How different is it like doing it like that? You've just, you know, and he, like, again, he does it like when he's got to go. Who was it against in an 8-0 win against Andorra's second team or something? You know, like, come on now, man. You ain't just got us through in the semi-finals of the World Cup or something. You know what I mean? You're playing North Macedonia, fella. Their goalkeeper was dropping off milk at 6 a.m. this morning. You know, I was like, calm down, mate. But yeah,
all right. And I'm sure plenty of people will be waiting for this Manchester City versus Manchester United preview. It's the big matchup. It's one of the games of the season. One of the games of the weekend. Sunday, the big clash. Boom! This is one of the boom. Some fireworks in the background. Boom.
some clip art explosions.
Yeah. I need to work out the green screen. I don't know if anyone saw that. It's in that video, the green screen, where some local teams worked out how to do green screen. They've got dancing squirrels going across the screen when they score. It's well fun. It's brilliant. So once I get green screen, that's coming up. First and foremost, here's the real elephant in the room. Nathan, how do you stop Haaland from scoring?
You can't. You just can't.
That's why I stuck him as my captain for this week.
Yeah, you know.
My captain every week.
I was going to say every week, yeah. If you ain't got him as your captain in your FPL team, mate, you're missing out. I did backflips to get him into my team.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this guy is just unbelievable, isn't he? He's a goal scoring machine. You put the ball in his area and he's going to gobble it up. Like I said, it's like when you go on FIFA and you basically make a player and you put all his stats to the top, like his height up to the top, his size to the top, everything to the top. And then you reduce everyone else and you put them on the playing field, you cross the ball in and go, yeah, who's going to win it? Of course, Haaland's going to win it. Code. That's what people do as well to get all of the stats on the game. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening in real life right now. The guy is just ridiculous, mate. It's like, how can you score near enough the whole season's worth for many players? Like, most players are going to score that in a whole season, and he's done it already. Like, he can just pack up and go on holiday now.
Here's some saving grace, Nath. He didn't score against Bournemouth.
Great. Lovely.
He got an assist, though, and they won 4-0. So...
Yeah, lovely. Absolutely lovely. All I know is we better keep that ball outside of the box as long as possible. Maybe get it in, allow it to come in once or twice, and hopefully we won't concede 3.
But Garth, there has to be a way you can nullify him. Look, you might not be able to stop him as the specimen that he is, because it's going to take 2 or 3 players to do that. And you don't want to put 2 or 3 players on one player. It's just suicidal. But how do you stop him? You still got to stop it at the main point. The De Bruyne's, the Fodens.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. So you've got to stop. You can't stop Haaland. You've got to stop the ball coming into Haaland, haven't you? So our fullbacks have got to be on. Say again.
Stop all of them, yeah. Stop all of them.
Yeah, well, no, you can't. No, this is what I mean. Look, Haaland's inevitable. He's probably going to score. So we've got to score more than they do on the day. This is why, it's got to be a 2 or a 3-2 for me, right? Yeah. But the way you dampen him is definitely your fullbacks have to come inside to stop those like edge of the area in swinging passes that De Bruyne or Foden or Rodri or whoever they've got, Walcott, whoever pulls out of the bag. You've got to cut them down at source. McTominay's going to have to be on absolute fire, running down everything, just absolutely playing the demolisher role, the destroyer role. I'd even consider not having Eriksen today on Sunday and playing Fred or a Casemiro, just as that extra protection in the centre of the field. Yeah, just to really cut out all of these passes, because like Haaland's a ball finisher. If he gets any sniff of goal, he's gobbling it up. You know what I mean? He's the most natural ball finisher I've seen since Van Nistelrooy. So any balls through, he's going to gobble them up. Any crosses in, he's got the power to get above you and cross them up. You know what I mean? And look, Martinez has really impressed me now, but we will still see what it's like if you're coming up against an attacking, dominant force like Haaland. No defender can like the Virgil van Dijks of the world. The biggest and burliest defender's going to have struggle against him. So there ain't much hope. I reckon we can do it though. Yeah, if you nullify the stuff that comes into him, then we've got a chance.
All right.
Just want to add to that a little bit.
Go on.
You know, like, don't you think that the Ericsson, if you take Ericsson out of there, though, you think that plays more into their hands by making us less ability to keep the ball and less ability to find players in attack. So it means that it's killing a lot of what we need to actually get goals as well. So do we play fire with fire and try and get goals? Or do we go, let's try and nullify a team that no one can really nullify, and then sit back and try and stop them when you can't really stop them kind of chances? It's a tough one.
With the speed we've got, I was thinking the same thing, and I agree with you. It's a real tough one to decide, especially when you go. If we've got Rashford, Sancho, Anthony playing as our front three with that pace, we can play the counter attack against Man City, which is why I'd go. I still think he'll play Ericsson, but it's why I'd go with the two more defensive-minded centre midfielders, and then especially if you've got Casemiro. Not so much a Fred, but with Casemiro who can ping out. He's got not quite an Ericsson pass on him, but he can unlock our attackers as well. But I know exactly where you're coming from. It's exactly right. This is the conundrum he's got. Do you go for it and end up losing 5-2, or do you try and nullify it and win 2-1? Or you know what I mean. It could go either way. I'm looking forward to it for the first time in a long time, man. I don't know about yourself, but for the first time in a long time in Manchester Derby, I'm actually excited for it.
Nath, Haaland versus Martinez, or Haaland versus Varane, whatever it's likely to be. What's the best way that they can? They're not going to be able to stop him. He's going to get chances, but how do they reduce that?
The thing with Haaland, he doesn't really do anything else apart from come really alive when it comes in the box, and then that's just one chance.
I did notice that.
Sit there and not touch the ball for one whole game, the 89 minutes, just banging the 90th, and you're like, bloody hell, man, we thought we had him. You know?
So is there too much emphasis on Haaland then?
Yeah, the thing is, look, they can score from everywhere, man. They can score from everywhere. And this is the difference, what I was saying before with United. The reason why Anthony got his opening against against Arsenal is because we had the other dangers in the other areas. If you didn't, you'll be able to cut out an Anthony. But this is what Man City are like. You've got too much everywhere. You've got Foden, you've got Mahrez sitting down, you've got Alvarez sitting down, not even playing. You've got De Bruyne, you've got everybody. Like, so many players that are ridiculously
it's a joke,
great, that can score. Gundogan scores goals for fun. You know, everybody scores. Everybody sets up as well. So now you can't just go, oh, let's stop Haaland. Foden will bang a hat-trick out of nowhere. And you're like, oh, yeah, Mahrez, yeah, you were top scorer last year, weren't you? Yeah, we have to stop him. Oh yeah, a De Bruyne from 30. Oh yeah, and an outsider foot from Cancelo. Yeah, why not? So you have to stop everything.
So confident about this game then, yeah?
Yeah, but enough because we've got players hurt you now, and they're all over the pitch with great quality. Before we had like pace with not as much quality, but then we had enough to counter attack teams. But now we've got enough in there where you go, you know what? We have capability to keep the ball, but we ain't done it yet, okay? We have capability to really counter-attack their defence because they're not the fastest, with just Walker there. And Cancelo, that's fine, but we've got three. We've got three up there. You can't stop all three at once. So I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm a bit worried because when you do get excited and think we're going to win, that's when we're going to lose. I want to feel like we're going to lose. We're never going to get a goal, nothing. And that's
all right, I'll ask after this question. I'll come back to you on this now, Nathan. How can you exploit Manchester City? Look, it's hard to point out a weakness. Where can they be got at with this Man United, with this current Man United team? And I'll get to what you think your starting lineups will be in a bit.
Like I said to you on the Transfer Exchange show, mate, that for me, this Man City team is the most complete team I've ever seen any time in football anywhere. They've got 2 11s of like both their starting and second 11 are magnificent. 1 to 11, they're phenomenal all over the pitch. Like I said to you, I think this is the only time I've ever thought that maybe someone could go invincible again after Arsenal done it. I didn't think anyone would ever do it. But I mean, if they've got any weakness, it's going to be that they're too confident. You know what I mean? Exactly what I'm saying. They come out all guns blazing, go for the kill. We take them on the counter attack with that pace up front. That's for me. That's the only real game plan Man United can have against Man City is really try and just hurt them Because you do it once or twice, even if you don't score, then midfielders start dropping, don't they? Because they start covering the centre backs a little bit more. They start covering the full backs a little bit more, so that the attack and our defence can start pushing up. And if 25 minutes in we've done that, we've got a real chance. You know what I mean? If we've contained them in that early stages, but like Nate's already said, the problem with Man City is like you have to be on it from minute 1 to minute 95. You've got to make sure like one little lapse and they can punish you from anywhere on the pitch, literally anywhere on the pitch. You know what I mean? So there aren't many. It's not a job I'd want trying to think of a way to break down Man City. Put it that way.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough one. How does Eric Ten Hag, I'll put it slightly differently, how does Eric Ten Hag exploit this Manchester City defence?
One thing he does know is how Pep works, because he's worked with him, and his tactics are very close to the way Pep plays as well. So he's going to know the strengths and weaknesses of his own self. So he's going to know the strengths and weaknesses of Pep as well. But obviously it's easier said than done. But at the same time, look, they ain't the fastest. Walker's getting older, so he's picking up injuries here and there. You never know if he's playing or not. But the other side is they ain't the fastest at the back. Like, they ain't. That's where you can get at City. Other teams can pace them. And Man United, in the past, we have been able to cause trouble against them in them kind of games. So I think we need to get the first goal. That will bring them out, and then we can definitely get more. But if we don't get the first goal, I say it's curtains. Like, it feels like one of them games. It's weird because I always revert to talking about FIFA, because I played FIFA all my life. I've been playing forever. But when I play my cousin, he's so good at playing, I need the first goal. And then I feel like I'm going to get a win because I'm ahead. I can relax a bit. But if he gets the first goal, it's 4-5-0 and that's it. It's over. Like, there's no chance of coming back. There's no counter-attack. He keeps the ball forever. That's what City do. They just keep the ball and you start chasing, and then all of a sudden it's open and then you just score again and again and again. But if we get the first, now they got to push up. They got to use their fullbacks like they do, and they're going to leave themselves way open. And that's where Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Martial, whoever's fit, Cristiano if he's fit, whoever, I don't know who's fit, but I'm hearing that obviously Martial and Rashford may be doubts. So it's looking like it's probably going to be Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo. If they play, it's going to be a little bit different because Ronaldo ain't that fast anymore. But we still have enough there to be able to do something. And if we have the others playing, I'm going to be a lot more optimistic about the win. If I do see Cristiano, Sancho, and Anthony, I'm going to feel like we're more close to losing. I don't know why. It's just in my mind. You know what it's like for me. I look at the sides. I kind of work out the matchups when I see them and how they're going to kind of blend together. And then I decide what I think is going to happen. And we'll have to do that again, Garth, aren't we?
It's back. It's back.
We'll be talking about what's what then.
I was going to say Garth can relate to the FIFA pasting because he used to get that from me when we used to play.
Always. You're the second one today, mate. Bert's tried it earlier as well. I was literally the best in the entire household.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. I've still got the memory card, bruv. This is embarrassing. We're not going to do this live. We're not going to do this live. We're not going to do this live. Right? This is embarrassing. I was the champ king. I was the pro king.
My God.
SSS tricky. Anything.
Tricky as well.
Olympics.
Don't listen.
Olympics.
Track and field.
Athens.
Track and field, yeah, mate. Yeah.
Fingers, bro. You don't even see me. Look. This is me moving. Look, I'm so quick. It looks like I'm still. All you see, look, is a shudder. That's all you see.
I used 2 thumbs. It was over.
Nah.
He's a 2-thumb.
I'm gonna move on in just a second. Yeah, Athens. Yeah, the place I work. Yeah, is one of the games developers from Athens. I beat his records. So let's end it there. Let's just end it there before we do a live Athens, and I end everyone. All right.
I'm telling you, mate. Mine is using cheat. Try and beat that.
Not possible. If you've got that turbo button which you switch on, maybe you beat me. But other than that, it's not going to happen, mate.
It don't even work.
It's not as fast as anyway, let's get on to the important thing. Nathan, give us your starting lineup for the team that's going to beat Manchester City on Sunday.
Ooh, are we doing this now then, Garth? Yeah.
I want to hear the teams that your best team, and I want to hear what you think is going to go out. I want to hear the team that you think can get something out of the Man City game.
Can we do this a little bit different? Because I'm thinking. All right, Garth. Look, we either going to do what the team is today, and then we'll do a combined 11 tomorrow, or we can do combined 11 today and do what we think the team is tomorrow. What are we saying here? What are we saying?
We can still do our thing tomorrow, man. We can still do that tomorrow as well. Just go with what you think the team might. But what team you want today?
What team you want?
We'll do the predicted scores tomorrow.
Yeah, this is the predicted. This is the team that you want to see.
Right. I want Donnarumma in goal.
I was like, huh?
No. Okay, so I want the Gea in goal, Malacia, Martinez, Varane, Van der Beek, right back. No, I want Dalot right back. You know, the back four.
This is some FIFA team.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a Casemiro this time. It's a game against City. Let's let him prove his stripes and play in there. I'm going to Casemiro. I might even do Casemiro, McTominay, and Bruno. I don't want to let Eriksen out of this team because he's been absolutely on fire. You know what? I'm going to go back to Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. And I'm going to put Antian on the right. And what players who are injured, I'm not sure who's injured, who's not. But if everyone was fit, I'd be starting with Rashford up top, Sancho on the left, Anthony on the right. And that would be my starting lineup. And Martial will be sitting on a bench ready to come on at halftime to go and kill it for the second half. And I would bring on, you might need a McTominay for Casemiro, depending on how the game's going, or a Fred for Eriksen or Bruno, depending on what's going on. So, yeah, we have to play this right. We have to play, I know the fullbacks are going to do their job. I'll have Aaron Wan-Bissaka sitting there waiting in the wings just in case, he needs to come in because Dalot might be knackered from making, overlapping runs and getting back. And you know what it's like against City. When you're out of possession, you're going to need to defend a lot and you're going to need to have a lot of players coming on to continue that fitness levels. So if he plays it right, that's the team I expect to see playing.
All right. Garth, what's the team that you think is going to do best to get Manchester City to get something out of the game?
Yeah, same back four, back five, De Gea with Malacia, Varane, Martinez, and Dalot. If Wan-Bissaka had minutes under his belt, I'd actually be playing Wan-Bissaka in this game. I agree with Nate. Just for that, I'm going more defensive, far more defensive. I'm having Casemiro and McTominay in the centre, Bruno in front of them. Now, if Martial and Rashford are both injured, I was having a little thought of maybe putting Eriksen on the right flank, having him more as a deep lying right flank, and keeping Anthony through the centre or Sancho through the centre and Anthony on the left or something like that. But if they're fit, obviously Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Eriksen comes on for, if after 60 minutes we're 1-0 down, Eriksen comes on for Casemiro and you just rejuvenate that centre midfield with more attacking options. You bring an Anthony Elanga on, you bring a Ronaldo on. This is what I like about you bring a Martial on. Our team now, it really does have options, especially in the more attacking third of replacements. So you bring on a Fred because he's nothing but energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. To really to hold down Rodri and Gunder. I can never pronounce it. Gundering. So yeah, listen, that's the team I'd play. But yeah, if Martial and Rashford are not fit, he's got a decision to make because I don't know. The plus with Ronaldo is he keeps their centre backs busy, but the minus is it really takes away from that pacey attack, counter-attacking thing I'm talking about, that front three. So he's got a big decision to make if we haven't got someone there. Because with Martial and Rashford gone, we actually don't have another striker. Elanga's not a striker. Anthony's not a striker, is he? You know what I mean?
It looks like Martial might be out for an Achilles. I don't know whether there's been an update.
No, apart from Ronaldo, though, Nate. Apart from Ronaldo, I mean, like a pacey, it's a Ronaldo will play probably, which I reckon will be a shame. It could really damage us, that could. So hopefully...
Is Rashford a doubt?
I didn't think he was. I thought he was going to be back, but now it looks like they're not sure again. So
both of them are not trained.
And we're on Thursday already. So yeah,
that's a bit of a worry.
Massive.
See
But
tomorrow, won't we?
if they were both fit, it sounds like you both picked Anthony and Rashford. They're your mains.
Anthony Martial would be on the bench because
Martial on the bench. Yeah.
Time.
Oh, so who did you start? So Rashford is a definite starter for both of you.
Yeah, yes. Sancho and Anthony.
Yeah. And would you both pick Sancho and Anthony?
Yeah. The only difference is McTominay and Casemiro, or Casemiro and Eriksen for me. That's the only difference there. I want us to be able to keep the ball and play the way Ten Hag actually wants to play, with pretty much every player that he's brought in the side. That's what I want to see him play, because I know he's itching to play the way Ajax played. They want to keep the ball there. He's used to having 65+% of the ball, not less than 50 every game, no matter who you're playing. It's not right for Man United, and the only way you're going to do that is play more of the players that he knows are press resistant, and Casemiro is.
Do you think this is going to be a game where Manchester City are going to want a lot of possession of the ball, or do you think this will be a game where they're going to try and hit you on the counter?
Nah. They're coming to do what they always do. They come to keep the ball, put you under pressure. When they lose it, 5 seconds, get it back, and then just punish you, get you knackered, go left, right, underlaps, overlaps, put the ball in swingers where little men can get on the ball. I don't know how they do it, but even their littlest people get on the end of headers for free, like with no one next to them, and they're scoring point blank headers like 1 yard out. I don't know how they do it, but they are unbelievable, and we've just got to stop them. We've just got to stop.
Besides Haaland, who's your biggest worry for Man City?
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah, it was. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
They're the
so, Nathan, let me ask you quickly, Nathan. If he'd had more minutes under his belt, the way you're talking about controlling the football, could you see this being a game in the future that Donny van der Beek would excel in? That being able to retain the ball in the tight situations and get the pass out. I know he's not going to play tomorrow because he's had no minutes, but I know you were talking about him. This being the sort of game that he might be really good for. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think obviously, when you've got one player, Casemiro, and then you've got an Eriksen, but then you've got a Van der Beek. I think he can do what Eriksen can do.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Being able to keep that link-up play going, keep the ball under pressure, get forward. Obviously, the defensive side is kind of similar to an Eriksen, but I think Eriksen has that bit more quality about him than a Donny. But yeah, definitely a very good replacement to come in.
Yeah.
You'll see over the month. He should be fit now. Surely he'll be back in the squad. He will be playing in some of these games, and we will see him doing a good job. I'm quite sure of it. So, and I'm sure everyone else will start going, yeah, you know what? He's a good player to have in this side. Keep the ball moving. Flick on, things around the corners. Intelligent stuff that not many players have. He's got that. So
yeah, I didn't realize he was injured. So. I feel like if that's the case, I'd be surprised if he didn't get minutes under Ten Hag. If this is a game for Donny, why is this not a game for Eriksen? Who picked Eriksen?
It is it's just exactly the same. It's just we were talking recently about Van der Beek and his ability to. I actually think I think Van der Beek's got more about him defensively than Eriksen, which is why I would say maybe this can be a game for him where. It's just we don't have them tight. We do now with Casemiro as well, but historically, recently, we haven't had these controlled ball players who can pick a ball up under pressure with the slightest turn, open space for a third of the pitch for a pass out of nowhere. And in Eriksen, we've definitely got that. And what we're hoping for is Van der Beek. We're going to see that from him because that's what we thought he was. You know what I mean?
He just hasn't had them players around him. So
exactly.
There's no doubt he will fit into a side like this, and he can do a job, but. Don't expect him to be some kind of miracle passer. He is the link between everything. You see what Eriksen did and does? That's the kind of things that Donny does day in, day out as well. It's not, when we look at it, it's not like the best, it's like the most amazing pass on earth. It's just a pass through the lines to Bruno, who then just passes the ball. But they're the ones that you need. And Eriksen could do it. Donny can do it. Mata could do it, but he had no legs. Them players like Gundogan, them players like Silva, De Bruyne, they can all do that. That's what they have abundance of. You take one off, you put another one on. Foden now also getting involved. They're a bit higher up the pitch. But
their team.
ridiculous.
It's a joke. Bernardo Silva, I was just thinking, he's one of the best in the world. Then you're like, Phil Foden, I'm like, he's one of the best young talents in the world. You're like, De Bruyne, I'm like, he's the best in the world.
Yeah.
Come on
Cancelo.
He's the best in the world.
Best in the world.
Diaz, he's the best in the world. Even Laporte and Stones and all their like they're all.
I remember when they were
quality
writing
players
off Stones. When they were writing off Stones, he was overrated. And then since then, he's just shut them down.
They're the yardstick, aren't they?
Yeah. If Stones is bottom end, it says what the rest of the team is like.
Well, yeah. To take the show full circle, if Stones is bottom end, then where does that put Maguire really, bruv? You know what I mean? Because I'd take Stones in a heartbeat over Harry Maguire. So their team's a joke, bro. It's an absolute joke, man. And you know what? Like anyone now, this is what I mean about it being so complete. Like if you're playing champ, that game's over. Like you don't need to buy anyone. You're just buying people for the sake of it now because you don't need to buy anyone for 3 years.
Yeah.
That team's like if they don't win the Champions League this year, it's not because they haven't got the squad or because they've got the manager. They just got unlucky and got beat on the day by someone.
Now, who they got a left back now?
Cancelo, isn't it?
The right now, any.
But they also bought the Swiss defender as well.
Akanji.
Yeah. just as backup, mate. It's a joke.
Mate.
The team's disgusting, mate.
Do they need a replacement right back then? Because if you've got
weak link,
Walker gets injured, huh?
Weak link.
Yeah, well,
no, they got Walker, Cancelo. Who else? They must. It's City. You know they've probably got like a sick 19-year-old right back just sitting there waiting to come on.
Yeah, brought him off loan early.
The two geezers that Southampton bought out of their youth this season, the goalkeeper Buzanu or whatever it is, the centre midfielder Lavivia, they're both sick, mate. Like
and the Fulham centre back, what's his name? Can't remember, but he was one of their players of the season.
Was that the German fella? Because
it's the young black fella centre back.
But yeah, like their youth systems, they've got some silly players in there, mate. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, they're the most complete team I've ever seen. It would take 3 or 4 major injuries. You know, we were saying the other week about it take 2 injuries for most teams. It'd take 3 or 4. They'd have to lose 4 key players. Haaland, De Bruyne, Edison is probably the weakest link they've got. I don't know who their backup goalkeepers are.
I mean, we're putting Edison as the weak link. That's mad.
No, if he went down, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not weak, but if he went down, who they got coming in as the backup? They've got the Irish fella, ain't they?
Yeah, and Zach Steffen, the American. I think the Irish fellow is the one that went to Southampton.
Right.
Yeah, so he was their third goalkeeper. He was their third goalkeeper, Gavin Booze something. He's because they got him from like Wexford town.
Yeah, that's the fella. Yeah,
Zach Steffen's their second goalkeeper, and he's a very good second goalkeeper as well. Yeah.
It's a disgrace. That team's complete, man.
It's a disgrace until it's your team.
Oh, fair play. Look, if you're a Man City fan, you must just love life. You know what I mean? Like you turn FIFA on. Look, we're going to talk about FIFA, and you just be like, oh look, nothing under 83. Delightful.
Stub your toe, you shrug your shoulders. You don't care.
Yeah, come on, mate. Come on, you know.
Go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, anyone who takes it to Man City and Pep, you've got like, this is why I've got to give Klopp respect. You know what I mean? They spend money, but anyone who takes it to that powerhouse is fair play to you, because as a juggernaut, don't stop moving, Man City.
Yeah, no, definitely. City have been not stopped this season, as we can say, they've been slowed down, but that was away from home. So there is something. And Crystal Palace went 2-0 up against them as well, but then they pulled it back to win it 4-2. So look, there's frailties in the team, there's weaknesses in the team. It's just down to Man United to make sure they don't, or they concede as least as possible and try and get some goals in that game. I'm not going to do your score predictions because you've got your pre-match preview tomorrow. But I will ask for a key player. Who will be your key player for the game against City, Nathan?
Key player on Sunday would have to be one of the attacking players because we really have to get goals. But who's going to supply that? If Rashford was fit, for some reason, I feel like Rashford up front would be the main guy who would come in and make a difference because we have to counter-attack. We have to use our pace. Anthony might maybe over. I think Rashford, if he plays, Rashford will be one of the most important players in that side to be able to unlock a Man City defence. Eriksen obviously going to have to play the balls through to him, so he might be pretty important too.
All right, Garth, who's going to be your key player to get something out of the game against Manchester City?
Yeah, if Rashford's fit, then with that front three, I'll go with one of them. Probably more Sancho for me. But just in my mind now, if Martial and Rashford aren't fit and Ronaldo plays, maybe I can see him being out, like, because we're going to have to play through him, and I can see a 2-goal Ronaldo out of nowhere. So I'm going to go Cristiano Ronaldo if Rashford don't play.
But quickly before we do go, you did mention about Ronaldo be likely to play. So, Nath, how do they get Man United ticking with the way that Ten Hag wants to play and Ronaldo up top? How does it work? Because it's got to work. We're talking about one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get the ball into the box for him and make sure he stays in there. When the ball gets up there, up in the final thirds, he's got to be sticking around the box. Like I watched when we was even at the game in Europe, he was out of the box a bit too much. When we went up, I'm like, what are you doing there? You're standing next to the guy with the ball. Like, get in the box, mate. You're not that player anymore. Get in the box and get yourself on the end of anything that comes in. And then he scored that great header, which was slightly offside. So you know he can still score goals like that. And if the ball comes to him and drops to him, you know he's going to bang it in. So get your fullbacks, getting overlapped, crossing balls in, or even doing the in-swingers like they do. You know, we got to try and do that, because I remember Dalot did that earlier pre-season for Martial goal. And he's also set up a few recently. So, and Malassi as well. So they both need to be able to get up that field and cross the balls in. And if we do that, I think, and look, we've got to get Anthony on the ball, cutting inside, and then Dalot coming down the line and maybe slotting him in to cross a ball in behind the defence. They're the kind of things I can see us being able to do this year. And we can play the way Ten Hag wants and does that. We've got a good chance. But it's easier said than done, like I say. It's going to be tough. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different if it is Cristiano. We can't just counter-attack like we're on the defence and then...
No, exactly, yeah.
All out, and then if all 3 people are sprinting up the field, it's not going to happen. It'll be 2 people sprinting and 1 person trying to catch up. So it's a bit different, but we've still got enough, but it's going to be a lot tougher, I believe, if we don't have Rashi in there.
All right, James said he needs to play like Haaland and Kane when they're at their best. Fox in the box.
Do you know what? I was going to say, then finally, I was just thinking to myself, and then like I've been talking about we need a bit more of a target man. If Cristiano Ronaldo changed his game to being an all-out target man, doesn't drop deep to come and pick up the ball, he's got another 3 years at top level in that position in the Premier League, 100%, because he could play that role. If he was willing to do it, everything goes through him. He's passing balls, like he's playing the control game. He's taking the ball down. He's passing it out to the flanks. He's getting in the box for the crosses. Then, listen, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's the best in the business, but he has to change. Yeah, exactly. He leaps like a salmon. He's a physical specimen, but he has to change his game. Yeah. We can't play to the way he wants to play, which is everything goes through him, even though he's all over the pitch.
Yeah.
Sit as a target man, take what you can get, score 25 goals a season in that position, and like you'd be an absolute asset. But that's the only way you can play to him, because he just hasn't got. You see, he hasn't got that extra bit. That first 5 yards, man. He gets beaten by almost everyone with it, and it's no wonder he's nearly 38. You know, he's only 4 or 5 months off 38. Like, plays that end role. You know what I mean? Play that role where you just literally mill around the D all game pretty much and just whack it in, get on the headers.
100%. 100%.
That's what you need. You are right. All right. That is all we have time for. Make sure if you are watching, you press that like and subscribe button. Press the share button if you are a regular to the show, or even if you're new to the show, press that share button. It's free. Make sure you go and follow the Dukes United show on Twitter and hit that subscribe button now. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Pleasure as always.
And do not forget to join Garth and Nathan on tomorrow's show at 5 p.m.
Yep.
That's the one.
5 p.m. on the Dukes United show. And thank you, of course, for joining us tonight, Nathan.
Of course, loved it. It's always great, and finally getting back to football again.
Europa League next week, though, isn't it?
International break's
get
the
it done.
worst, mate. Yeah, international break's the worst. I hate it in the start. This early into the season, you've already had 2. It's
Yeah,
disappointing.
I know. Yeah,
Done now anyway. Done until
Yeah.
Christmas.
it is done.
And they can call it. They can call it the Nations League all they want. They're friendlies, mate. They're friendlies.
Yeah. No
Might
one
as well,
cares.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.